Hey guys, before we start, a quick shout out to Alpha Dog Nutrition for sponsoring this podcast. Alpha Dog products are now available at dusupply.com, and you can use code ALPHADOG15 at checkout for 15% off and a credit for free shipping to try it yourself. Now let's get you to your podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Free Casting. We're going to have an update on Colorado from Naomi Hersch. We're going to talk about some wolves. And we're going to talk about what are we going to do when they're done with trying to take lions, trying to take hounds. Who are they going to go after next? Competitions. They've already started with coyote competitions. We're talking about that in this episode. This is part one of who's here to protect the hounds. If you want to watch us live, Wednesday night, YouTube channel, Anecdote of a Houndsman, where we talk about hounds, mules, and everything in between. Enjoy the show, guys. Matt, I feel naked without my microphone and my earplugs in, or my ear. I'm just using I feel weird. Feels weird.
It doesn't sound too bad.
Naomi!
Hey!
You got the best office so far.
No.
I know, right? It's getting a little cold. I missed the golden hour light, but
Cold. Be nice to be cold.
it hasn't been very cold here. It's just the elevation that cools us off at night. So,
Well, it got cold enough where I had to start a fire, or I had to cut some wood, get it stacked on the porch, and we had a fire. Like, it was right on that edge where you didn't need a fire, but if you didn't build one, but it got real cold, frosted a couple mornings, and then now it's hot as hell. Drive me crazy.
same here. We had one frost. That was it.
I know.
I
So
think it was
but,
91 degrees here today.
yeah, it was. I bet you it was 80. I don't know what it was here today, but it was warm, really warm. How hot is it down there, Jared? Tucson.
94, I think. Something like that.
That's not hot though. That feels good when you're.
When it's 94, I can hunt till almost noon, so I'll take that.
What's your lows in the morning?
Shoot, they're pretty low. Closer you get to the mountains, in the canyons, I mean, they're getting down to 55, 50, 47.
That's good.
But
yeah.
when we had that cold snap this weekend, I went out on Sunday and it was 38.
Wow.
I mean, the high was only 84, but
They let all the water out of the river for the irrigation, so
yeah.
I got to cross the river this morning. It was a little sketchy, but I got across it.
There you go. I just got done watching the video you posted.
Which one was that?
Oh, the when you went packing with Mike.
Oh,
Ritter.
yeah, the pack
Yep.
string. Boy, I tell you what, that's nothing but work. Jeez.
You only had
That's
5. You only had 4, right?
I had five pack mules and a saddle mule.
But that rubber, I liked his idea on that.
The inner
tube
tube?
stuff. Yeah, that's genius there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd never heard of it before, but I've never really had trouble with my panniers coming off like that. But I imagine if you're running empty, like we were going up into those hills,
Bouncing.
you could sure brush them off.
Make Naomi pick bigger and the rest of you guys smaller.
Yeah,
There.
that'd probably be a good idea.
There, how about that?
let's go back
We'll
to the
just,
other one. There you go.
Yeah.
At least make Chris's picture smaller.
I mean, is that guy saying we're ugly, or I don't know.
I think that was the gist of it.
I think that was the gist of it. You know, every time we get Naomi on here, no one wants to listen to us.
It's true.
But we better get her going
Hey,
because
I guess this is my third time, huh?
yeah, she's gonna lose light and she's gonna get cold here in a few.
Yeah, I am actually. It's going away. I see some sunset.
We brought her on to kind of give us an update, man. We've been causing trouble about that 127. Jared causes the trouble more than I do, is all I'm gonna say. Have you been on that? And we're probably gonna give him some reps right now, but have you been on that mountain lion sighting?
Yeah, she's been on that.
And it's just for mountain lion sightings. And somebody posted vote yes on 127, and it just blew up.
So not just somebody. That was Samantha Bruger. So she's behind all of this.
Mhm.
So that's the one and only post I've been on there, and I just couldn't help myself because it was Sam, and I'm like, all right, let's go. And I was joking with the houndsman out here. I was like, man, I should let's do a live debate with her. Like, let's go. Like, I can put her and I up and see if she backs down or if she'll do it. And she's already been invited to debate some people live, and she always chickens out. So I wouldn't expect it to go anywhere. But I think it'd be interesting. I think I could take her on if she does accept, and just putting it out there that we did that. But who knows?
They're always tough behind, when they're on like a little, on a little forum or a page. But I put a thing on there and said, hey, if anybody wants to come on and debate, just message me. We'll be nice. I promise we'll be good. But
they don't want to do that. No. No. Yeah, but it's we hate to say that we're optimistic because then for some reason your support kind of dwindles. But I mean, our foot is on the gas and we're not taking it off the gas. Where Cody Lostro and I are going down to Old Town Fort Collins tomorrow. And one of our members, Seth, has been on Pearl Street in Boulder. And so we're doing the grassroots thing, hitting the streets and doing everything that we can do. We had the event at the Capitol. That went well, but we wished there were more people there at the same time. There's like 300 to 400. And when you think how many hunters are in the state, I mean, I couldn't help but be like, what the hell? Like where is everybody?
Yeah.
But we're trying. And I'm exhausted. Every day I wake up, I'm like, is it November 6th yet? Just so busy, but we're chugging along and we need all the help, all the support. If you know someone in Colorado, call them and ask them how they are doing, because it's been tough.
Yeah.
Are they running a lot of commercials and stuff, the people that are pushing this?
The opponents? Yeah, they are. They're outspending us. If you look at the numbers, they're spending twice what Colorado's Wildlife Deserves Better had spent. Now we have CRWM as well. If that dog barking is bugging you guys or cutting me out,
if dog barking bothered me, I would be in a lot of trouble.
You said something. I thought, there probably was a dog barking.
Yeah, I know, right? He's our loud one. He doesn't shut up. But I mean, if you look at the numbers, we're being outspent. And all of this money just comes from out-of-state animal extremists, and it's sad to say, and it's sad to see. A bunch of Wayne Pacelli followers, and since he resigned from the Humane Society, he's started his own animal wellness action, is what it's called. And another, big money puller, and there's big money behind this, and people that are involved are getting big money, and it's hard to compete with, but we are competing.
Do you have a feel for how it might go yet, or you? I
don't want to
say. Knock on wood.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay silent on that one. No, it's cool. So there's been multiple county commissioners come out, even in Democratic counties that are Democrat counties that are Democrats themselves, and against this measure. The latest one was Gunnison County. They had 3 commissioners, all Democrats, come out in opposition of this. So that's been good. The Democratic Party itself for Colorado, or I keep saying that, Democrat Party itself for Colorado has come out in a neutral position on this, which is, I think, very good. So there's some political stuff that's, you can't help but be like, all right. But, you never want to, our foot has to stay on the gas. We have to keep with the support. We need the support for the last 2 weeks here.
Well, I'm more optimistic now than I was in the beginning because I have seen a lot of support. And it's all about the algorithm. I don't go to those sites, so we don't see the response from the other side. So I don't even know what commercials. And really, we should all be catfishing and so we can see exactly what they're saying. And that's what we're kind of doing on Mountain Lion. I think then someone get on there, Jared, and it's like, there's nothing about 127 on this. Like, because it's mountain lion sightings. So
Yep.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
mean, so if every argument they throw at you, you can literally go on Colorado Management's page and go to their little 50-second videos and just be like, that's false, and just click on that video and share it to that argument, and they will not have a reply for it.
Absolutely. And that's what we need to keep doing. There's some people, of course, that you're never going to change their mind. But I just told this to a guy the other day. You know, I was having that argument back and forth with Samantha Miller there, and he posted his dead lion right underneath it. And I'm like, dang it, just wait until this is over. I messaged him. I was like, pull that off. Wait until this discussion is over. You can put it back on. But I'm having an active conversation that everybody's going to come look at. Yeah. And they're going to read through our arguments. And this is looking so good right now. Unfortunately, it got a little like convoluted there. But in the beginning, I was like taking screenshots because I'm like, she is totally going to delete this. And I thought she did at one point, but it must have been just my mountain internet. But
well, I just read on here 40 million being spent on Proposition 127. No, that's an old one. Sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say
Jeez,
that is public information. The opposition has spent like at least 2.5 million. No, it's going up. It's like between 2.3 and 2.5 million. Colorado's Wildlife Deserves Better has spent like 1.3. So I see here that I'm scrolling through YouTube here, and the news there, the local news has had quite a few things on it. Are they staying pretty neutral? Are they biased in any way? It's hard to tell, even for me, because I run so many opinion pieces. So you'll see from the same news source, both ways, so very close together.
They'll cover the opposition then.
Oh yeah. Good. Oh yeah, they'll run the opposition for sure. But we did have, I think it was Vail newspaper, after they talked to Cody Lostro, they came and told their readers that they were taking an opposition to this as well. So that was a big win. Yeah, and that's Vail. That's one of the ski bums. Yeah. So
they're different.
When you see things like that, you're like, oh man, keep going. That's the only thing you can think, right? Keep going.
That's the stuff that keeps you optimistic when you see these counties coming out saying, man, this is BS. You know, we're not supporting this. So,
well, I messaged Aaron Snyder on Instagram. I think it was Sunday night. He's got like 115,000 followers. And I kind of called him out on it because he lives in Colorado, I think, still. And I was like, hey, dude, what the shit? Like, your Kafaru casts, you know, your backpacks, all this. And I'm like, I don't see nothing. And he's like, I usually put it on my stories. And he's like, I'll make a post. And he made a post. And it was frustrating on how many hunters were mad at him for making that post saying no. Like, he was sending me some stuff. And he's like, dude, I already got 6 emails saying I'm a piece of shit.
What? Wow. Yeah. See, I didn't think in any way that would happen. We've had a lot of good support. People like Go Hunt, and then the Hunt Stand, and even Cabela's and Bass Pro came out in opposition. And I mean, everyone you would hope that did. So I didn't know they were getting negative feedback on that. That's kind of, especially someone like Kafaru, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like he loses ratings on his Kafaru cast when he talks about 127, and he gets hate.
Maybe because it's so pounded in by now that people are like, I know what's going on, you know, the people that are going to listen.
He is super mad at the Colorado wildlife people, right? Not at the workers, obviously, just the hunters and anglers. He's just like, pull your heads out of your asses. Like, come on.
Yeah. No, I get that. I understand that. I am too, you know, being down at the Capitol. And there wasn't any big game season going on. And
oh, wow.
And no, there was no excuse. There's no excuse for people not to be there. Yeah. And there were people that were there, and there were quite a few dogs there, and I'm thankful for that. But there should have been 3 times as many.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest complaint anywhere, any state, any commission meeting, is you get 2 or 3, maybe 5. If it's horrible, worst case scenario, 10, but not 100. There should be 100 there.
We were talking about it last night.
Last night we had like our first AWDA meeting, the Arizona Working Dog Alliance, and we had a secret weapon come in. He texted me right before, like literally we were going on at 6:30, and about, I think it's 5:30, I get a text from a guy that I've been trying to kind of get hold of. He said his number and everything, and we got him on there. That guy's a genie. He's a Dan Gates. I don't know if he can talk,
man,
but he knows
those are big words.
He knows his shit. Like he was throwing stuff out there, and we're just all like, "What?"
He already
and he's part of a lot of organizations, and we're gonna talk to him more. And he was just at a meeting with some Game and Fish, and he was representing hounds. They got a little hounds thing. There's only 2 members of, but they needed something to represent. So he was kind of excited that we were starting something, because the more groups, the better. I thought they were going to be kind of mad, like, oh, you guys, how the competition. We didn't want the competition, but he was happy about it, and he was willing to help. So that's going to be real good.
What blew my mind is he knew who was living in Arizona. Remember that little thing he said? I don't know if I can say it.
But he was. I was really excited. Oh, what's that?
About those 2 people that are living in Arizona.
Someone hiding out in Arizona or what?
Yeah. So back in 2018, there was 1 HSUS person in Arizona for something. And as of right now, he's like, there's already 2. And I was like, wow, that's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
What do you guys got going on with that ballot initiative that you guys got? The representation.
Oh, the 134 or one.
It's getting pushed through.
124.
Yeah, 134.
134, right?
134.
What do you think about that?
It's blown up on the hunting page.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, if we had it here in Colorado,
it evens it up.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be here talking about 127, I don't think.
Nope. Yeah, exactly.
Because that kind of reads like, even if there's 1 million votes, it don't matter. Like one piece can shut it down.
Yep.
They have to have 10% signatures from each county. Or 10%, whatever it was.
That's going to be hard to do.
Yeah. Especially if you do a vote to ban hunting in Cholo or
all down south. You got Tucson, but you got everything to the east of Tucson,
County,
everything to the west of Tucson.
Yeah.
Now, Maricopa County and Pima County,
they're not going to run everything.
Is the only ones that destroy everything. Kind of like Denver. And is Denver your only? What else is your other big county?
Boulder.
That's
it's the whole I-25, like the Front Range corridor. So unfortunately now, like Fort Collins down to Colorado Springs, a lot of Pueblo. That's where the big cities are. And then Boulder. Yeah, Boulder is a bubble surrounded by reality, they used to say. But anymore, Denver's just as bad, So. And actually, Seth was reporting from Boulder. He had a couple vote no signs out, and he was educating people there on the street. And he was actually pretty impressed. People were coming up to him and pretty much didn't know which way they were going to vote yet. And we're kind of waiting for someone because they're confused. They're like, I don't know what this means. I don't know what it does. And us being there on Pearl Street in Boulder actually got a lot of vote no's from Boulder people. It's a cool story. I'll let him, reach out to him if you want to hear it. But like I said, Cody and I are going down to Fort Collins to hopefully do the same thing tomorrow.
So what else is going to happen from this point on until November? Because you only got a couple weeks.
Yeah, we just got to go door knocking pretty much. And here in Colorado, it's mostly, we're not all mail-in ballot, but we're mostly mail-in ballot. People can go vote in person if they choose, but pretty much no one does anymore. So I don't know. It's a lot of people have already voted. In-person voting is open now. Early voting, and they can have already sent in their ballots. So it's just talking to those people that might not, their ballots sitting on their counter. And that's a big thing too, is Colorado people need to not let their ballot just waste away on their counter this year. There's a lot of people out there, outdoorsmen, that just don't take the time to even send it back in the mail. And we need to be voting. We need to be out there and voting.
A lot of those people who do the mail-in ballots, they already have their name. They already have their mind made up.
It's mostly mail-in. I wouldn't say that. I think because, like I said, mostly mail-in in Colorado, so they're not gonna. I don't think it makes a big difference here because you can wait. Your ballot can be postmarked at a certain date, right? Or you can go and take it to a drop-off location and it still counts. So the people who have already voted, yeah, they probably. I mean, obviously they made up their mind, but I think there's a lot of people out there who haven't yet.
How many people read those books? You know, I mean, how many
I don't
people
know.
actually read those books that come with your? I just got mine the other day. I thought it was a phone book, but you know, and I just breezed through the 134 and made sure it's in there. But how many people actually sit down and read every bit of them?
I think a lot. I think a lot of them do. You hear it talked about a lot. Blue book, the blue book, the blue book. So
yeah.
Yeah, and if you read it, I don't think it sounds half bad for our side, but that's reading it through our eyes. So, yeah. There's a lot of good facts in there. Like they state that lynx are already federally protected and are not hunted. They state that mountain lions and bobcats are both listed as a species of least concern, and they state that Colorado Parks and Wildlife are currently managing this wildlife, and they state that if we lose mountain lions as a big game animal, there will be no funding resource for big game depredations by mountain lions, and that's a huge thing. So they state a lot of accurate information that would be really bad for Colorado. So I hope people read it.
Yeah.
And their side is just like it's ethically wrong. It's immoral. Trappers and houndsmen are awful people. That's pretty much what their side says in the blue book.
Oh man, even on I had a lady literally tell me it's all you do is run your dogs and kill stuff, and I said no, I'm a private investigator too, but it looks like you have some skeletons in your closet as well.
There's been the threats and stuff are just disgusting. We had the president of UHC, a lady commented on one of his comments and talked about his grandma's fence, like, oh, that's a nice sign your grandma has up on her this colored fence. You're like, wow, like that's pretty low of you,
Like, is that trying to threaten? Is that a threat? Like, I know where you
pretty
live?
much just saying, yeah, it was this old crazy cat lady saying, like, I know where your grandma lives. I watch her. We're like, wow, that's hence, but whatever.
Kind of the wrong.
That's a good one.
It's the wrong. It's kind of the wrong group of people you want to threaten, especially with their grandmother.
Right?
Okay.
I had so many death threats when I got my lion. It's ridiculous, and that's kind of what I thought. I was like, I have a 1/4 mile long driveway with 5 hounds outside, and you don't want to know how many defense things placed everywhere. Like, I don't think you're. I don't think you quite know.
They're not in a locked place. Yeah.
My dogs are gonna let me know when you when you hit your brake lights 1/4 mile away. So, good luck.
We don't.
But
I was talking about that the other day. I said, my kids are gonna grow up and they're gonna be like, damn. In the old days, we don't take the keys out of our cars. Our guns are in our cars, but I tell you what, if you can get even into our cars in my yard, and then our door we're never locked. Like,
yep.
I hear of people where they said, yeah, I knocked on your door and you weren't home. My cousin came over yesterday and he just walked in the house. Like, we just walked in the house. If you're naked, you just better cover up, or like we walked into each other's house. Cody Lynn announces when she comes in.
Yeah, I know.
I'm here, guys.
I'm on the porch and I stomp.
Tries to stomp, kick some pans around.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, just announce yourself a little loud. Slam the door. Yeah. Oops. Yeah.
But that's the that's where we live. I don't know what my kids are going to be in 20 years. I stay at my brother's house. He lives in a kind of a cold, like a gated community sort of. Man, you don't lock your truck, they'll get your stuff. They walk around and they'll check door handle. It's locked, and I panic. It's no easy chore to take all my guns and stuff that I care about out of my truck. I have a lot of them.
I know.
So I have to haul them all in.
Same here. But you look at Denver, and I think they're like #1 in the nation for car theft, and it's like, geez. So crazy the diversity of people that you can have within a couple hours from each other, for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, we lock our cars up here. We're pretty close to Mexico, so
yeah.
I've never had any trouble, but I don't want to take any chances either.
And your house is a little away from your dogs, though. I got 2 pit bulls, a husky Rottweiler looking thing, and I got my cur dog, my little blue-eyed cur dog. She has the one blue eye, or Catahoula. She's kind of the crazy one,
Well,
I got blue eye. Neighbor comes in a quarter mile away and they bark. They run to the gate, and the gate's way over there, a couple hundred yards. But yeah, I don't know how I could live any other way. Locking my car would be.
My hounds are on the opposite end of the property, but it butts up to BLM land right there, so it's pretty handy.
So for someone to threaten somebody like in this, clique of people, probably not smart.
No.
In Nevada, there was an anti-hunting lady that harassed a bear biologist, like on a hiking trail, and ran her, chased her down the road in a vehicle, everything. I think she got, I don't know how much time, but she did a little bit of time.
Good.
I think Braley Mason, I don't know if he's on here. I think he just posted, he was down there scouting for deer. Someone had like pots and pans on a trailer and driving them down the roads. Crazy. People shooting them. I was like, man, I'd probably throw some nails in that road or something. Or
the side by sides, nothing phases deer next to roads anymore because of the side by sides. I mean,
oh, you're right.
We got a little side by side club out here, and I was out taking the bird dog out Sunday evening and just seeing if we could point some quail. And there must have been 150 side by sides took off up the mountain. Oh, this one whole, they're like a biker gang. They're just this little side by side club.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose light on you guys.
What is it?
I said I'm gonna lose light on you guys here pretty quick.
You're real bright on our side.
Yeah, it's just gonna go away fast. The sun sank, but
we got what we needed out of you.
Yep.
All right. Well, do all the plugs for me. Sportsman's Alliance and United Houndsmen, of course, CRWM, and Colorado's Wildlife Deserves Better. We all really need your help for this fight and to continue. So thank you.
They're still
thank
taking money, right? They're still taking donations. They're still taking donations. They're still
and at
spending
this point,
a ton of money.
Yeah, they're still spending a ton of money, and they need to. And they're going to zero that account out because Colorado's Wildlife Deserves Better doesn't exist after November 5th. So they're going to use that money for this fight. So
do you know what they're doing after the fight? Whether you win or lose, because I know Dan had kind of an idea of helping the next state. Is he going to still do it, or?
Coloradans Responsible Wildlife Management, whatever that I butchered that, but they have some ideas for Colorado State Legislature next year, and I think there's some similar stuff floating around, like the ballot initiative process, the thing that you guys are doing in Arizona right now. We can push that through the legislature. There's ideas like that floating around, yes. So they're definitely going to use their money. They're not just going to run them hide in a hole with it. They're going to use it to help sportsmen.
Good deal.
Cool.
Well, Naomi, we appreciate your time.
Thank you guys. Good to see y'all.
All right.
Yeah.
There you have it. What do you think?
Excited.
You like a little bit more positive than we thought. If you'd asked me this 6 months ago, I'd be like, man, they're going to lose it.
Well, talking to some higher, like Cliff Gray's his name. He was a big time outfitter in Colorado. The wolf introduction barely passed in Colorado, and it wasn't getting near the amount of attention that this is. When he said that, I kind of, you kind of like, well, maybe then.
They snuck it in kind of up there, though, didn't they?
Yeah, but it still barely passed from what he said. So, I mean, that's positive. And now with the wolves doing what they did the first month that they were introduced, you know.
What'd they do?
Well, so no one was going to give anyone these wolves, Colorado, any wolves, but Oregon did, and they gave them problem wolves that were killing livestock in Eastern Oregon.
Yeah, that's why they got rid of them.
Yeah, so they shipped them to Colorado. What's the first thing those things killed when they showed up in Colorado? I
It wasn't near enough.
Yeah, I think 2 of them ended up getting shot in Wyoming.
It's crazy.
So
and they do
with
it
that
again.
with that fiasco that happened right away with the wolf introduction and the cows getting killed, I mean, it might be nice.
Hey, I think I suggest we take up a collection and we get in your bus, Chris, and we all go to Colorado and we look up this Colin Brosnan. He's an antagonist. He's always agitating everybody. And we just throttle the shit out of him.
Where'd you find him, Benny?
On that Facebook group. I don't know why. Robert Chase invited me to join. Yeah, the sightings. Mountain lion sightings.
That's a pretty good site, man. When they comment, there's hundreds of comments.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I've been going through that today, and it's like that one guy though. He reminds me of Dennis over there in Big Game Houndsman. Somebody just needs maybe 10 or 12. We're nothing but hounders. We just go over there to the cafe and jump on him in the booth, and when we leave, he looks like a puddle of coffee. Yeah, we could get Brett involved. All we got to do is threaten Brett. Say that guy threatened you, Brett, and he'd go with us.
that guy called you a yelly belly liar.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe how much that site's blown up since we brought it up a week ago.
No, it got crazy.
It got wild in a matter of days.
And the admin don't give a shit.
Nope. No, that admin, he'll let you post whatever you want. There's guys doing trophy shots with lions on that page, you know, supporting hunting with lions, you know. Then you got California people bitching about lions on that page. They're just like, we're overrun. This isn't cool anymore.
That's the most post. They say, where you at, California? Where you at, California? You know?
Yep.
Gene, I'll send $500 pennies idea. He will too.
Hey, let's fire up that bus. Everybody's got to meet in Sholo.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I got to get
Brett's
my bus
doing a lot of. Brett's watching TV or something.
No, I'm on this site, this mountain lion site.
They'll suck you in, man. And I just try to be
good. It's not good.
I try to be real polite and just use bigger words. You know?
There was an anti guy on there, and you know he's lying. You know, he's like, I'm a hunter and I'm 4/127 and yes, and this and that. He's like, you can't actually eat a mountain lion. And I put a picture of mountain lion in a crock pot. My wife made lion carnitas. And I just put that picture and I said, it's not the animal's fault that you suck at cooking.
Gene Forrest, he'll send 1,000 if he can go. Come on.
Yeah. Yep.
Chris doesn't have his mule trained to get in the bus yet, so there's still room.
No. I got to get my bus up here. Gotta get it up here. Down in Maricopa.
Maricopa?
Yeah, I just got to get up here. Got to get a temporary tag and all but up.
A moving permit or something?
Yeah, it's a 3-day permit. So, yeah. Make sure I got a leaky brake too. It's the air brake coming through the canyon.
Might not be good.
I've had word. I said, you again tomorrow. Oh. He's coming. He wants to come hunt in Arizona. I said, come on over.
Who's that?
Told them all that was open. Blackbeard Kennels.
Oh.
I said, come on over. So,
I'll be right back.
Benny, what you been doing?
I've been sitting in an office all day looking at a computer screen trying to get legal for MSHA.
Oh, fixing all your MSHA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old MSHA.
Yeah, there's a guy that was running the Carlsbad pit and he got in a wreck in a company pickup and they discovered that he'd been drinking, so they fired him. Well, I don't know. That happened before I went to work over there. So he looked me up the other day. Hey, there's the guy. He looked me up the other day and asked if I'm friends with the owner of the company. And he says, when you see Jim, would you give him my number? So yeah, because I guess they're going to send me back down there to Carlsbad, and I just hate that. The
Yes.
MSHA guys down there in Carlsbad in the office have got it out for me because I started out being too nice to them, and they pushed the envelope too far, so I started sticking it in their eye. Now they're mad, so I got to do whatever I can not to go back to Carlsbad.
Stay away from there. Jeremy,
Yes,
use
sir.
butchering.
Yep. Finally got the cutting up part done. Said I'd take a break.
Good deal. Well, my topic tonight is we keep talking about poor lions and hunters, but what no one really talks about is the dogs. Who's protecting the dogs? What do we do with the dogs? Like, you're putting dogs out of where it's like they're closing down the pipeline.
Well, but
So
that's part of the problem, Chris. Without the dogs, we wouldn't do what we do, and those dogs are just vicious killers.
This Samantha Miller is one of the
oh yeah,
problems here.
yeah. That's what I think. That same person Naomi's talking about.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
No,
I've had to
she.
wash mine the last 2 nights because every time I walk out there, I smell like processed deer meat.
What are you going to do with the dog? Some people got 10 dogs. Just leave them on a chain?
Rehome them.
I guess so. Let them get fat on a couch. Jeremy, is it rare to see a bear in Louisiana?
Not where I'm at.
You're talking about an animal or Jeremy?
I can pretty much go out and find one just about every day.
You guys get to kill them over there or no?
They just had their draw. They issued 10 tags statewide. Well, in one region, which it's the whole northeast corner of the state. And they did a draw, and of course I didn't get drawn. But anyway, so in December we'll have the first bear hunt since '84.
Well, surely your coon hounds might. I think I've asked you this before. Don't they trash every now and then?
Oh yeah, yeah. They were trying to find that one in that video I sent you the other day. They just couldn't figure out he was in the grain cart.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah, getting fat. That's true. Come at you with the dogs next. Missouri got close to trouble. A bill was pushed out saying you could not have a certain amount of intact males or females. Boy, they just tighten that noose, don't they?
Well, here in the county that I live in, they passed a law, I don't know, 20 years ago or so, maybe longer, where if you had more than a certain number of dogs, you had to get a kennel license. You had to become a licensed kennel and a licensed breeder. And David Heiss was the one that asked me about it, Brett. He said, "So what's your intentions, Benny?" I said, "Shoot whoever the hell comes over here to investigate."
Yeah.
He started laughing. He said, "Well, I don't think I'll shoot them if they come into my house, but I might show them that I still know karate."
SSS.
Yep.
Yep. Now they're going to
But
keep
that's what
coming.
they've done. That's what they've done in California. You can still bear hunt. You just can't use hounds.
Well, that's what that lady was saying on her page or on some of her comments was they're just trying to outlaw hounds. Say if you want to hunt lions, do it without the unfair advantage of hounds.
Now,
If they think it's fair, they need to go hunting with that guy this way and see if it's fair. See who has the advantage.
So hounds are at an unfair advantage. So once they get rid of hounds, you can't hunt them no more. And then what they'll go to is shooting them at 1,000 yards. So you can't have a scope on a rifle, and then when that don't work, they'll say, well, you have to have a primitive hunt. So they'll just keep whittling away.
Yeah, but
pretty soon Benny will be out there with a spear.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I think if they really want to make it challenging for the hunter and say that they're giving the lion a better chance, they should slip something in there that you have to get the lion out of the tree yourself without a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
And, then we'd find out how many hound hunters really have adrenaline.
My brother built me a knife just for that. Actually for killing bear, but lion will work.
Well, there used to be a guy on the internet that had a spear that he killed African game too. With that spear, he'd get up in a tree and spear them from above. It can be done. That's how things used to happen.
Well, they were doing it here, right? And that football player did it and had a video, and then all of a sudden spears are illegal.
Well,
He did
spears
the
have always
Bears,
been
though, I think.
illegal in Arizona because I think that's how come I don't have picture. Well, that's one reason. I didn't get any pictures of the lion that was um, poked with a spear when I was a youngster. I had pictures of everything except the spear. But when I was in that hole, kicking my feet to suck me out of there, when I threw a loop around that lion's foot, a piggin string, that lion was sick and it was bleeding pretty profusely.
Had a hole in him.
Well, the good thing about California getting rid of dogs on bears is now they got 60,000 damn bears. So they can't they could do a free for all like coyotes. And I don't think in 5 years they could kill enough bears.
No.
To bring that population down to being manageable.
Well, no, but for one thing, they don't have as many bear dogs. They're losing. It's just like when they outlawed the traps, or they didn't outlaw traps. PETA got the price of furs real cheap, and so people quit trapping, and you lost a generation and a half of trappers where people used to trap. That was their Christmas money or their winter spending money. They did it, and dads passed it down to their children, and they lost that, and now there's not that. Even where they're trapping is legal, they don't have the volume of trappers out there harvesting the furs.
In the 70s, I mean, those coyotes were bringing $75-$80 a pelt for a big white belly. And shoot, what was it, about the end of the 80s? It dropped all the way down to like $10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, they made it.
Bobcats in Arizona, those desert cats used to bring $250.
Bobcats still bring you some money here. I mean, of course, y'all got the same ones, but the ones like Cody has, they're worthless. They're not worth anything.
Yeah, ours aren't worth a lot.
What's that?
Ours aren't worth a whole lot.
They don't have that big white spotted belly, do they?
No. I mean, you get some that do, and you get some with rosettes, but not most of them are just brown cats.
Yeah. They call them swamp. Don't you call them swamp cats or something like that?
I call them bobcats.
Just bobcats.
Yeah.
I know, and those ones Cody has down there, they're pretty small cats. They're not very big.
Yeah, about a 25 pounder is a monster around here.
I think it was the last year that I trapped. I trapped in New Mexico for a couple of months, and then I trapped in Arizona for a little while, and I had all my furs ready to go to the buyer, and I called the buyer up in Mesa, and I lived out by Tolleson, and back then it was an hour and a half drive. We didn't have the freeways in the valley like that, and so I made an appointment. He was going to meet me there, and when I got there, he was gone, and they called him to wherever he went, and he said, "Well, just leave the furs there, and I'll grade them and send you a check." And I said, "No." I had already gone to Craig O'Gorman's trapping school, and Craig O'Gorman in Montana, he was anti-agreeable and anti-government and anti-everything, and so I already learned how to behave. And he says, "Well, what are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to take them home." He said, "Well, you came all that way. Why don't you just leave them here?" I said, "Because I'm not going to give you the opportunity to screw me with my furs." "Well, what will you do with them?" I said, "I got a burn barrel at home. I think I'll just burn them." "What?" And that's damn sure what I did.
I had his book here. What was it called? Footsteps of a Woofer or something like that?
I don't know.
It was his catalog.
O'Gorman Longline Lures.
Well, yeah, but he had a book. It was called
yeah.
I think Footsteps of a Woofer, I think is what it was called. I don't know where it's at. I didn't throw it away. Huh. Yeah, O'Gorman. Didn't he use some tolling dogs too, or trapline dogs? Quite a bit.
He's the reason that I wanted decoy dogs.
Yeah,
I had never ever heard of anything in my life like that. And he had 3 dogs, and we got over there, and I think he had a siren. He also had a cassette tape that would go on a PA, but I think he just blew his siren on his pickup, and he said
to locate them.
Yeah, and some coyotes off in the distance started howling, and he said, "Let's go." And I got to looking around and said, "Hey, where'd your dogs go?" He said, "Don't worry about it. Be quiet. Come on, let's go. Just follow me and be quiet." And there was 3 draws came into this one point, and we got out on the point of that hillside there and sat down. And I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Shh, just be quiet, just watch." And pretty soon those 3 dogs came back with 4 coyotes in tow. And the coyotes would lose interest. The dogs would jump on the coyotes. The coyotes would get mad. And they'd chase the dogs down. And dogs knew exactly where he was. And he shot one of those coyotes, and the other 3 bolted. The dogs took after him. He started yelling with his mouth like a crying dog. Arr, 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 arr. Those other 3 coyotes turned around and got after those dogs, and they brought him all the way back, and he killed another one. What's it say?
Hoofbeats of a woofer.
Yeah, there you go.
The O'Gorman style of coyote trapping.
And I just almost sprang a wood right there. I thought, man, that's the best way to kill a damn coyote. And I said, so what the hell? And so I even went all the way to O'Gorman's to buy a pup. I couldn't get him to sell me a trained dog. And the gal, I think her name's Nancy, that's worked there forever. She said, well, it'd be expensive, Beanie. I said, what would it cost? She said, oh, I don't think you couldn't get a trained dog for less than $5,000. I said, tell him I'll give him $7,000. And he wouldn't sell me a trained dog. But he didn't, all these decoy guys that I see anymore, they call the coyotes in, and then the dogs see them and they go chouse them. But his dogs went and hunted the coyotes up and brought them back to you.
Yeah, it works best during breeding season. Is when they're more protective.
I shot 2 coyotes yesterday.
I seen that.
Blasted them both.
But all these people that are concerned about their, all this wildlife and everything, and I think it's really hilarious that the coyotes are impacting people in town as hard as they are. They're all crying about that for their little Fifi dog, and their cats are missing, and there's no rabbits or quail around, but they still call them little fuzzy coyotes. It's fun to see the coyotes unless they're packing my dog.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just like,
Well,
everyone wants to
them.
save a mountain lion until it's your cows, your goats, your dog.
There's a woman that lives over at Klondike, Arizona. Her name's Kathy.
Was she the yellow lab breeder?
Not, I doubt it. She doesn't seem like Larry Hendricks was hired by the state of Arizona Game and Fish to conduct a lion study in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one catching the lions. And then they always had somebody like Kathy in camp with him. And she was the representative, and she would tranquilize the lions. They'd go get them, measure them, weigh them, blah, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
put a collar on them and turn them loose. And Kathy was young, and she was like a lot of young people in the game department. And she was just anti-hunting and anti-rancher. And Larry always had a litter of pups too late in the year. So they had a litter of pups in camp, and every night a pup would disappear. And Kathy was getting pretty distraught about those pups. And one evening, just before it got dark, a great horned owl flew over there and landed in that tree. And Larry says, well, Kathy, I'll bet that's where our pups are going. Well, what do you mean? He says, well, I think that owl's come for another snack. And she grabbed a gun and she says, I'm going to blast that son of a bitch. And now, Kathy, you can't do that. You work for the game department. That's illegal. Yeah, but that son of a bitch is eating our puppies. He could go catch a rabbit or something. And Larry just looked at her and said, well, Kathy, don't you think those ranchers feel the same way about their calves and those lions? And he said that was the start of her downfall, and she couldn't stay with the game department much longer. And she married a rancher over in Klondike. He passed away, and she has the ranch, and she bought another ranch, and Larry gave her a bunch of lion dogs, and she still hunts lions today. So sometimes it just takes one of those deals.
Yep. I heard a story. I don't know if this lady was in Arizona or Utah, New Mexico, somewhere in the Southwest. She was big into the purebred yellow labs. And she had a lion coming in and taking her dogs. And she was known for being an anti-hunting lady. And she couldn't get any of the houndsmen to come help her. And it's not a hoofed animal, so you couldn't get the state to help you.
Everybody's got to make their own choices and live with them, right?
Yep.
Lay in the bed you make.
Brett's not going to go to bed tonight. He's going to be reading those posts on it.
No, I got
Man.
away. I started to get mad, so I got away from it.
That's generally the best answer, Brett.
I'd write something that wouldn't do anybody any good.
I can't do what Jared does.
I just like making them look stupid. They say something, and then you just point out, you're like, that's a lie. You know, Colorado's done a really good thing with their 50-second commercials, and pretty much all you have to do is play that 50-second commercial, and it said everything you just commented is a bullshit lie.
It's crazy what they're saying. It's just, and it's not just like the houndsman busting them out. There's a lot of people on there saying, "Man, you guys are stupid."
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they say they've been doing this study for lions now for 50 years, this and that. You know, they've been doing this study on lions and people interacting and all that shit. And we need to stop it now. And then, Colorado had an answer to it. They were like, here's 125 years of science. There was 200 mountain lions. Now there's 4,500. There was 300 elk. Now there's 30,000 elk, and 40 elk, or 40,000 elk. And now there's 400,000 elk.
They deserve to live and go get married.
Yeah.
There's not in Gunnison, Colorado. I can report this.
Yeah.
You mean elk?
Yes. There's bighorn sheep and moose. That's it. Just buy an elk tag and go to Gunnison. You won't see one.
Buy a moose tag and you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you'll see elk.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was on that same Facebook page, somebody made a comment about the Florida panther was the single most endangered mammal in the nation. And so I read down through there and the stupidity. And I finally responded and called one person out and said, I don't remember how I started it, but I told him that the Florida panther has been shored up in population from lions that were caught in Texas and transported and released in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to see if anybody responds to that, because I know firsthand that happened. The McBrides did it.
Well, the same thing happened to the bears here. I mean, in the 80s, it was something to see a bear. And then they brought in a bunch of bears from Wisconsin, and Arkansas actually got a season. Heck, I don't remember how long ago, but they said those aren't true Louisiana black bears. They're bred with northern bears, and now they're what they are now.
You can stay on that site all day. I wish we could hire somebody just to get on that site and post facts all day long. Just keep them people busy.
I don't think that's the best way to handle it. I'm old and I remember how we used to handle things, and I've always thought that came up with the shortest, quickest fix.
Yeah. Show up at their house?
Yeah, show up at their house or at the Circle K or at the coffee shop. It didn't matter. And you don't even have to talk about it. There's all kinds of ways. Let's just say you can make your point.
And them wolves, they just keep shoving them wolves down everybody's throat.
Yeah, I'm surprised they hadn't released some red wolves here.
A new wolf pack was just transplanted in my deer hunting area of California. The deer herd is already showing a decline. I have only seen one yearling doe all year. Coyotes are bad enough on wolves or on deer.
Yeah. Now at so now you have coyotes, mountain lions, 64,000 bears, and now a wolf pack to California's deer herd.
Well, just wait. They're not done. They're going to put the grizzlies out. They're going to put the grizzlies out.
They've already talked about it.
Yeah.
And it's not anything that they're saying, we changed our mind.
Well, it's the feds. They're saying we're going to do it. You got to get on board.
I think it would take a while for them to get established enough to decimate the population in California.
Maybe they need to drop some over there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They could have a free-for-all for a year and not kill enough bears to make a dent.
Yeah.
The world needs more Cajuns. You ain't got to worry about banning nothing in Cajun country.
Right.
They will eat you.
Well,
they need to take about 10,000 of those bears and drop them off over in Louisiana.
Could you imagine?
We got enough.
A country full of redneck hillbillies and Cajuns and coonasses. Oh my gosh.
Our governor, they were on us about the LSU mascot, and he told them to kick rocks. He's a pretty cool governor.
Yeah.
He's a little short guy too, so he's kind of got Benny's mentality.
There you go.
Two-finger mentality. 8 wolf packs.
I mean, put it this way: he has an annual alligator hunt, $5,000 a spot, and it's packed every year.
That'd be pretty cool to see.
That'd be pretty cool to go get.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
The pack is going to win around Minden and Carson City this year. We'll see how hard they devastate the herds. That's when they really tear stuff up, right? Winter?
Well, it depends on the winter. And, if the Sierras get snow, like a good amount of snow like they did 2 years ago, you'll have a pretty good impact then, because them elk or them deer are going to be way down low. They'll be pushed down into Nevada. But if there's no winter, then they don't concentrate. They stay dispersed. Everything depends on snowfall for that migration.
You see
I
this,
agree
Jeremy?
with you, Kenny. Nobody wants to act like a man anymore. I don't think
Just
you
in
can
case
act like a
an
man.
alligator, if an alligator
Benny
ever shows
does.
up in the Pecos River, I'm on him. I got a piece
22
of
long rifle. I didn't say that.
There's too many berry pickers now.
Yeah, dingleberries.
Is that from a 1022?
Yes,
Ruger 1022?
it is.
I got 2 of them. Well, I got one. My
3.
grandson has one.
Yeah, I have 3 of them.
So
This,
got-
Jeremy,
I got
this
two.
replaces that.
I got
Yeah.
2 of the.
This is,
I've
I
got
got 2 of
about 4
those
of those.
magazines too.
I've got
this is a
about 4
metal
of them.
one. This one's metal.
Mine's
It's all
plastic.
steel.
Mine are plastic.
Yeah, this one is from the 70s, and it's from Italy. And in Italy, they knew how to fix up the 1022.
I got 2 that are magazines that size, but they're plastic. They're not metal.
not all of
No,
us
no,
can
no.
be cool like Benny.
I'm not as old as you, Benny, and
It
I've never been.
replaces
and
this.
I've never been to Italy. Well, I know. I got the same thing too.
Here's my rope
on.
for my
This
alligator
is show
hook.
and tell.
Hey, be careful. The undercovers are watching, I guarantee.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
So-
Cody Lynn, chime in. What do you got to say for yourself, Cody Lynn?
I'm just observing.
She's working.
Oh, I
She's
hate that.
working.
But at your age, you should thrive.
Right.
There you go.
Ah,
375.
I had a 375 lever action. I traded it for a 4570 breech load.
That's an H&H Magnum.
let's see here.
Let me see what I got.
No, I got a
Now we're getting it.
pistol right there.
Brett, pull out your 22 short.
It's in my buggy.
When I went to a little swap meet,
A 378 Weatherby.
Well, you got what? You guys are making up for something, I think.
We are. We're making up for in case a damn rhinoceros
This
gets
is
on.
artillery.
no, this was
That's in case I leave my spear behind.
This is
Was a
so
black
when they come
powder.
to get my boat in accident.
it was a black powder, and someone put a 44 special cylinder in it. So now it shoots regular bullets,
Wow.
That's wild.
which means, but it still don't have like serial number black. It's a black powder, so it's not considered a firearms really. So yeah,
Hold on,
got it for
Benny, that's one of them. You know
150
evil,
bucks.
see no evil.
Yeah. Drop gun. Get that out of your pocket.
In 1975, I had heard about zip guns made out of big ballpoint pens, and so I thought, well, hell, I can probably do that. So I got me a ballpoint bic and I gutted it and I wrapped it up with duct tape and electric tape so that it wouldn't blow the plastic into my hands, and held a 22 in there, and I rigged up a rubber band and a paper clip and pulled it back on the way to school and whacked it in the dirt. It worked. And I thought, I probably better not take that to school. I probably better leave that over here on the dirt road and pick it up on the way home.
Chip and hammer and a vise works pretty good.
Yeah, but you can't, it's too heavy to carry in your pants.
Yeah.
Sammy took our governors into hunting dogs, and he signed a contract with us. The state of Kentucky would never ban hound hunting.
I'm moving to Kentucky.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, and that's where you get, if you get a Cajun and a coon ass over there with those hillbillies, things will start to happen.
This stuff should have been done a long time ago, not when there's a scare, you know. Now, when they come in and they almost get something, the antis, and then they just keep at it. They let it die down for a few years. Everybody goes their own way. That money should still be going somewhere for the 2-3 years they're absent. And when they come back, you have them. What'd she say? $1.2 million they've spent, and 2.4 or $2.2 million the opposite the antis have spent.
Yep.
They love spending that money. They get that money easier.
Well, it ain't theirs.
Oh yeah, it comes from all over the country.
Well,
It comes from all over the world.
but if you stop and consider the change that society has made, you know,
Oh, it's terrible.
they've got, yeah, and look how many people they've herded up into the concrete jungle.
Yep.
They've gotten away from the agriculture in the rural America, and they're trying to push even harder to get rid of it altogether. And so when they get everybody in the city, then they can have nothing but time to be a bleeding heart.
Well, you know, those people in the cities, they think it's really cool to see an animal because they never see them, and they think the animals are going extinct because all they see is concrete.
And all they've ever experienced with an animal is a zoo and what they watch on TV.
So what happens when Idaho votes hound hunting in as a right and they can't take it away is once everybody starts losing it, Colorado, anywhere else, where are they going to go?
I'm moving to Idaho too.
And then you got a ton of houndsmen over there, and then they start making these rules again because they got too many, you know, and that's it. It just gets crowded. Just like California, all them people who didn't like California came over to Arizona or New Mexico or Texas and
Nevada,
you know.
You know, they're trying to make a difference in Texas too, and in Texas, the mountain lion's still classified as a varmint. It's not even regulated, but there's people over there that's starting to cause a fuss.
you can't do canned lion hunts anymore in Nevada or in Texas.
Why not?
They just made it illegal this year.
How will they know?
Did they vote that in, or is that just up for vote?
I thought that went through. Went through the same as trapping. The trap, you got to check the trap 24 hours now and not 72 or whatever for lion snares or something.
Well, I don't disagree with that one because, I mean, that's the way ours has been since I can remember. You know, you had to check your traps every day. You know, and that way, if you get somebody's dog, you know, you can actually let it out if it's not dead.
But in West Texas, there ain't no stray dogs running around in West Texas.
I mean, it's open country.
You know, if you got a stray dog caught in a trap in West Texas, that's not somebody's dog.
No, it's somebody dumped it out. But
yeah, you know, because Nevada, my buddies that trap bobcats in Nevada, you know, he'll put 30,000 miles on his rig checking it, setting traps and checking in a winter. I mean, that's all he does. Pours concrete all summer, and then come November, he's not pouring anymore. He's trapping.
Which my trap line wasn't that big, but I put 2,000 miles on mine on my Ranger, not my truck, in 2 trapping seasons, and I only took off 2 weeks to trap each year. So.
Yeah. So I mean, and in Nevada, it's a 72-hour check. So he'll start at one mountain range and go north and south down it, cross the valley and go north and south down that mountain range and go to another spot so he doesn't overtrap it.
I think it depends on where you are and how you're trapping. And for the most part, I think you could do what you want if you're not right there around town.
Yep.
Probably so, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think if Colorado passes that, man, that's going to give them a big morale to come to Arizona or Nevada.
Oh yeah, it'll travel.
You know, everybody's saying Arizona, but we've kind of gave them a hard time both times. And now that this 134 is coming in, if that passes, that's going to make it tough. So they are, and in New Mexico, look at New Mexico. You don't like, who's protecting New Mexico over there? Those guys need to get their shit together too.
It depends on the current governor. Right now, our governor's focus has always been to get rid of the gas and oil. The wildlife isn't her focus. We have had governors that the wildlife was their focus. And if you look at how things changed back and forth in New Mexico, it's gone up and down, up and down, up and down. Right now, it's really good for the hunter. Excuse me, but that's not the way it's going to stay. It just depends on who's in office. Because this is the only state that's more liberal than this is California and Washington.
Well, yeah, I mean, our big cities, I mean, especially Santa Fe, but I always say the same thing is, our northern population are those old blue dog Democrats. They're not real liberal.
It's like the ones that supported Bruce King.
Yeah, exactly. And they all, they're hunters and everything else. They're not the liberal panty wastes that come out of California.
Well, and it's just everywhere. I got a cousin that lives in Washington, and he told me that I had no idea that Washington outlawed the use of natural gas. What the hell? But our governor wants to do the same thing. And at one time, the southeast corner of New Mexico produced the most natural gas anywhere in the world. And you put that into perspective, just this little corner of the state, the entire world, we produced more natural gas than anywhere. That's slacking off because they're hell bent on getting rid of the oil and gas industry, and so they're making it difficult, so people are leaving. They're not drilling more wells, but no, that's exactly right.
Where's he from? Where are you from, Anderson?
He's from New Mexico.
Yes, he's in New Mexico. Our governor.
She does some weird stuff too. Like trying to get rid of the guns over. Keep your thumb down, Jeremy.
Now it's working, Jeremy.
I did.
Oh, did it do
that?
You just got to back
in the screen.
You got to back your thumb off a ways. When it sees it, it looks like a leg, as big as your thumbs are.
We hope that's your thumb.
You're right. I watched a debate the other day between Ted Cruz and whoever's person's running against him, and the other guy was just lying. Ted was making him mad. You can find it funny, he says, and so Ted just kept rolling him over with the facts. But there's enough Californians that moved to Texas, just like they've been everywhere else. And for whatever reason, the people that don't like the way California is are staying in California. And the people that are moving to Arizona, Colorado, Texas, wherever else they're going, I think Montana, they're taking the California politics and beliefs with them, and they're implementing them there.
I think that's how they're trying to get their agendas out.
Absolutely. Spread the poison.
And how many people are going to be an outlaw like they say? Oh, they get rid of this, I'm an outlaw. There ain't going to be 2% of those people that are going to actually do anything besides Benny.
I don't know, man. There's some dang good lion dogs coming out of California still.
Oh, I bet.
That is true. Same thing in Florida. They moved here because they didn't like it where they were and voting the same as they did.
Blue no matter who.
That's reservation theory. The Navajos, they tell them. People who vote Republican, they keep that a big secret.
Yeah.
I know people. I knew a guy said, man, I don't know if I can vote for Trump. If they find out, burn my house down.
Oh, man. No more checks. No more casino checks. You know?
They were throwing a fit that Elon Musk was offering $1 million checks, whoever voted Republican. Everyone's getting mad, but they do the same thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Elon Musk, man, he's backing him good too, ain't he?
Well, Elon's son went and did a sex change and went super woke not too long ago. So Elon's he's full on. I'm taking the wokeness out. His son went through the puberty blockers and all that stuff. So he came out publicly and said he will end wokeness.
Yeah. Wow. it all bleeds down everywhere. You know, everybody says, what does it have to do with me? What does the lions have to do with me? What do the dogs have? But it just big circles once they get rid of the dogs. You know, the best way to get rid of dogs is outlaw the whole thing. I think it's too hard just to outlaw the dogs. So they say, oh, let's just like California, we're not killing lions no more. Oh, if you can't kill lions, you can't do nothing with anything, you know.
Where was the guy from that killed that lion, that went to Africa and killed that lion? They called him
Michigan.
Cecil.
Michigan.
Minnesota. Cecil? He killed the Cecil?
Minnesota.
The dentist?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's from Minnesota.
Look at the ridicule. Look at the ridicule he had to endure.
Do you know what that caused in Africa? They culled after his hunt, and the whole entire Africa hunting bans and everything started happening, and the bad, like everything, lion hunting in Africa is canned and it's bad, blah, blah, blah. They helicoptered and killed over 140 lions after that because no one was hunting. And they just stacked them like cardboard.
Well, they can't do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and instead of the tribes making a bunch of money, now they're not making any. Yep.
The lions and the tigers, when they get a man killer in the deal, who in their apartment sitting there in their 48th floor little patio deal does that affect? You know, well, I'm not going to go over there. I can throw my agenda around. It doesn't matter to me. And that's what we're talking. That's what all this stuff is. When they outlawed the trapping in Arizona, it didn't have anything to do with the people that it affected. Shoving wolves down everybody's throat. That's not taking any meat off the people's plates in the city.
Tim has his
all the time.
Tim has his morals backwards right there at 2 and 3.
I agree.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Dogs should be second.
My morals go my Lord, my wife, my dogs. Man, you're supposed to. Maybe mine are backwards.
Dogs are second, Chris. Mine's in there listening.
Watch him get hit in the back of the head here in a minute.
I'm in the corner, so I can see her coming.
Oh, and he even gave a thumbs
up.
I got that on recording. It's just gonna. It's pretty brave to go out, you know, to go after just no lions. Let's not kill lions, but
yeah. You think that's bad, Chris?
It worked.
Wait till they come after the coons and the coon hounds. I mean, they already, trash pandas. They're so cute and playful. Look at all the TikTok and Instagram videos of them. But who's talking about distemper killing them every 2 years because they don't control themselves?
Yep. Hey, Benny, Dandy's cheating on you. Cody Lynn, what type of welding do you like most?
Here, how's this? Tag Cody Lynn, you're it.
Oh, he got some more questions.
Reverse Uno card. Like you.
Reverse Uno card. What type of hood? Do you even wear a hood?
This one.
That. She closes her eyes. If you watch this video we just made, you see us closing our eyes.
Just look through the eyelids.
Yeah. Well, Dandy's trying. He's trying to get somebody.
I think the big thing on how they're going to do stuff is they're going to come at, like what Pima County has, 7 dogs per household down here. And that's how it's going to start. And then it's going to be no one needs 7 dogs. You only need 2 dogs. You only need 3 dogs per household. And that's how everything's going to get phased out. Because the average person only has 1 or 2 dogs.
My hounds never came in the house, so mine doesn't count as a household.
That's right. My wife just went to the property to go feed mine.
Rick says, I didn't know the West was this messed up. I don't think it's messed up. I think they're trying to mess it up. And I think they get more resistance. But, I mean, what do you really think would happen if they went after coon competitions? Those coon guys, they're coming after them sooner or later when they can't get the hound guys. They went after coyote competitions.
And got them in Arizona.
There's big money.
Yeah, they outlawed coyote competitions here too. They still go on. You just can't advertise.
Well, they don't call them a competition.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
When are they going to humanize quail and ducks and all of that?
And we have that answer for you guys in the next episode of Who's Here to Protect the Houndsman next week here on Double U. If you have any questions, Anecdote of a Houndsman at outlook.com. If you have any guests for a show you might think would be good, if you have any ideas, give me an email. Until next week, guys.